What's up, guys? Welcome back. So as you guys seen right now, I'm actually working on the all-wheel drive EK, trying to figure out what is going on with my diff actually leaking. Closer to come find out, I think you guys seen it on the last video, is that the axle kept popping out. That is the actual corporate of it, or whatever you could say it is. That's what's happening. So the axle is actually locking or pulling out because it is actually not locking into the diff. This one is actually missing the ring that goes around this section here. It won't even capture it, stupid camera. But it is missing that locking clip, and that is the main reason why it keeps pulling out from the diff. I've drove the car around the block a couple of times and I didn't have that until maybe about 2 weeks ago, or about a week ago actually. And we've had that issue to where it's just popping out. I keep putting it in thinking that maybe if I smack it in harder with something, it'll lock in. It needs to lock in. Well, now we know that basically it does not have that C-clip. I'm not sure what happened to it. I don't know if it was on there when I got them. These were given to me by Sone and S1 Built. These are just OEM axles, as they don't make the short axles for the wagon setup. And mine actually utilize the shorter axles instead of the long axles like the ones that everybody else utilizes for the regular wagon diff, because this is an actual in-track diff. In-track diff is actually lets you go to front wheel drive and all-wheel drive. There's a switch down there, or not a switch but a lever that you can actuate, and you can move it to front wheel drive or you can move it to all-wheel drive. And this car is going to be on all-wheel drive. My homie Brandon, we have shut up, is still trying to figure something out with that. I'm not sure what happened with all that, but I know he has the same diff on his EF hatchback that he's building, and he's trying to figure out how to make it better so that way he can easily just use an actuator to pop it on and pop it off at the same time, right? So what I got to do now is pretty much go through my axles, see if I can find something that's the same diameter of it. I'm not sure if I can find that or not, or if I even have one that will fit it, but I do have spare axles, and I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can find one within one of these to utilize the clips from. If not, I'm gonna see if I can take it from that half shaft. I gotta figure something out, right, because I gotta make this work. So let me go ahead and try to figure out, see if I can find one that fits, and I'll update you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, so I ended up finding this one. It looks to be the same size as putting it together. Kind of measures out to be almost the same. The clip might be, it's actually a little bit bigger, but what I'm going to go ahead and try to do is pull it off, cut a little bit, and see if I can squeeze it over this one a little bit and tighten it down a little bit more, or kind of like close it before putting it on, and that way I can kind of, hopefully it will fit. I just hope that's the same thickness of it as this one. It should be, it feels like it is, but again, I'm not an expert on it. I'm going off of the eye. I've tried measuring it with like a flathead screwdriver, and it looks like to be the same. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we can get that to work, and if it does, good for me, and if it doesn't, I just gotta continue figuring out which one it'll work. But yeah, let's go ahead and try that out. Alrighty guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and apologize ahead of time because we do got some people here washing the brand new truck because it got so dirty. I have the homie's company, Wash Bros, Izzy. That's his company, so if you guys need any cars washed in the IE or whatever, let him know on Instagram. I'll tag his description and I'll put his link in the description. But we did manage to find a locking clip. So this one looks like it's gonna work perfectly fine. It fits pretty well. It's a little bit bigger. I tried squeezing it in, but it actually pretty much locked in to where it's supposed to be from what I've seen on the other ones over here that I took them off of. So it looks like it's going to be perfectly fine. It'll actually lock it in, so hopefully we don't have no issues in the future with that. But I am going to be looking for aftermarket ones, for bigger horsepower ones, just because these are OEM ones. Even though they will do the job, I still want to be able to prevent anything from happening later on. And we already have an issue here where it's touching the exhaust setup. I believe that's what it's from. I never really inspected them, but Sone is coming down with another set for me, and that way I can have backup for OEM. But just in case I need to rebuild them or whatever it is, I would rather have a couple of leftovers, and just in case anything does happen to the car. So let's go ahead and put this on, see if it locks in, see how everything works, and hopefully we are good. So fingers crossed, man. Alrighty guys, so update is I'm still messing with this damn axle. I've done split my hand many times. See all the damn blood marks from it trying to smack it in, figure out what to do. I'm just getting annoyed with it, so I need to take a complete break from this and figure it out, because I did take off the other axle from the passenger side or the driver's side, and I swapped it over to this side and it went in like nothing. And that also has a C-clip on it, just like this one does. C-clip on it and everything. So, and it's not over extended, so I know it should lock in. I just don't get why it's not going in on this side. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take a breather on it, and I guess we'll just pick back up on it once I figure it out. I've hit Dana up and I've gotten some pointers telling me about the C-clip, make sure it's not too big. And exactly, the C-clip on this is actually very snug over it. I did close it so that way it would stay within that range, and I've also like locked it in a little bit more, and it still will not mount. I put this one side on the other side, it won't go in. So I'm not sure what the hell is going on. It's just extremely frustrating, and I don't want to get too pissed off with all this and honestly make a mistake or do something that can cause damage to the car. So I'm gonna take a breather, try to slowly figure it out, and hopefully we can get the axle in and locked in a position. So let me go ahead and try to figure that out, guys, and we'll pick back up after. Alrighty guys, so pretty much just update, it's been about an hour and a half. I took a little bit of break from the all-wheel drive setup because honestly I was getting really frustrated with it. I was just getting mine broken, just getting very annoyed with the whole situation of this damn axle. I think I already stated it. The issue that I'm having with the axle is the C-clip. I took off the other axle from the driver's side and I put it onto the passenger side because they share the same axle, which are the short axles. I put it onto the passenger side and it goes into the diff like nothing. Then what I ended up doing was I ended up taking the C-clip off of the axle that wouldn't go into the diff, and it goes in like nothing. It just does not lock into position like the other one does. So come to find out, the only thing I can really think about, which would be common sense for me, is that the C-clip that I'm using from a front wheel drive axle, meaning these clips right here are actually too thick. So what that means is when it goes around the axle part itself, it's already fully compressed down so where it barely slides over the threads or the grooves of the axle into locking, that it does not compress enough to close going in and then decompressing, that way it locks inside of the diff. So that leads me to believe that these right here are actually too thick and I need to find a specific one for the all-wheel drive axles. CRV is different, so they will not work from my understanding. I did already put a feeler out there to see if anybody either has an axle. I'm willing to buy an axle to set, just to have as spares also, even though S1 sewn in them are coming down and they do have more and they're coming down for race wars in Bakersfield, but they're not coming down in the time I need it. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is putting a pause onto the rear, moving to the front, and try to do a little bit more work to the car to get it ready, because I still need to bleed the system, the cooling system, to make sure that fans turn on, everything goes right, we have 100% no leaks, and make sure it's just good, because right now we're literally counting down to almost 5 days or so before I hit the dyno. I've also already contacted Armin from Armin Tuning. Instead of being, unfortunately, on the all-wheel drive dyno, I actually moved it to a front-wheel drive dyno. I really wanted to see this car on the all-wheel drive dyno just because I wanted wanted to see a car on the all-wheel drive dyno and not spin. That's what I really had visually, you know, wanted to see. But I'm okay with the front wheel drive dyno. So what we're gonna go ahead and do after is I'm just gonna go ahead and remove the drive shaft and let it be on the front wheel drive dyno. Meanwhile, I look for another axle for the rear. So to keep things moving, honestly guys, I'm just gonna go ahead and try to figure out this whole overflow situation. I need to put either the aftermarket one on, but what I was kind of thinking was actually taking the one from the Honda Domani, because it is an EK specific one, and see if I can plop it into over there and see if we can get it to work on this section. If we can, then we'll make it work, and that way all I got to do is buy the hose to go from wherever it goes to wherever it needs to go. Also, I need to swap out the hardware for the valve cover so that I can compress right, because I do want to put the titanium hardware. As you guys know, I'm already running G Development hardware on this car, and I want to keep it all the same. So I do have more hardware that needs to go onto this car. Oh, what do I do with that? There it is. So I do have more hardware that needs to go on it, and some people may say, why spend so much money and so on and so forth. It's just me. I like doing that. I want my car to look good, and in honesty, it's just I want my engine bay to look good. You know what I'm saying? So something else I just got to do, something small. But let me go ahead and get the keys to the Domani, open the trunk or the hood, and see if I can take off that fill, the overflow, and see if that will actually work in here. If not, we're gonna have to mod the one that I have here, and I gotta actually find it because, again, the issues of moving. Alrighty guys, so we got this fully locked in now. So this is in. I'm okay with that. I'll go later on to AutoZone and get some hose because I am not going to use this hitty ass shit. So temporarily, this is the way it's going to be. I might just continue rocking it. I might move it over here. I don't know yet, but for right now, that's where it's going to sit at. It's just easier for me to monitor. So pretty much just to cap this video out, guys, because as you guys seen, we struggled with the axle. We don't know if I can find another one. I'm just going to put it in there temporarily. I don't want to record that, just to show you guys that it's going to go back in temporarily until I can find a new one. So now that we got the reservoir pretty much put in, let's just go ahead and swap out the hardware to the valve cover and pretty much just call it a day. I got a lot of things going on today, moving and everything else, so let me just go ahead and just make this video easier, guys, and let's just go ahead and get this hardware back on. If you guys are looking for any of this hardware, please hit up G Development on Instagram and he will take care of you, man. Or you can easily order it off his site. Best hardware he can find, hands down. So yeah, let's just go ahead and continue. Alrighty guys, so right now pretty much as you guys seen, we got the acorns onto the valve cover hardware, so that is all locked in. That is locked in as far as the fill pot. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do now is actually head to Honda, because I need to head to U-Haul real quick also to go get some boxes, because as you guys are aware, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but I did sell my SSR Super Spokes. I ended up selling them just because, honestly, that's what I needed to do to make an important decision, which was actually buying the truck. So again, new beginnings, and being blessed, you know what I'm saying. At the end of the day, I'm grateful for what has been given to me, even through all the trials and tribulations. I'm just happy that we were able to move forward. So I'm gonna go ahead and run to AutoZone and then U-Haul, see if I can find these boxes, and then we'll come back to finish off the fill pot, so that way we know all that can be done, and then pretty much we can cap out the video, guys. So let's go ahead and head to AutoZone real quick. Alright guys, so we just pulled up to Honda and I ended up getting the hose. It's ready for coolant, so this should be pretty good for it. So now we have a few feet of that to replace this hideous shit right there. Alright guys, so pretty much everything is ran. Coolant overflow hose is all pretty much mounted. Goes through here. I'm probably gonna route it a different way a little bit, but it all locked in, and now we have an overflow tank, so we can start filling it up, bleed the system one last time, and make sure that we are pretty much golden. But pretty much, guys, that is gonna wrap it up for today's video. As you guys seen, we struggled with an axle. Unfortunately, we still gotta figure out that solution, but hopefully I'll find one here local, and now we can have it locked in and loaded. I'm gonna remove the drive shaft just off camera because I don't want to bore you guys with that. But as you guys also seen, we also got the overflow tank put into location, and just honestly gave the engine bay a little bit more detail, which is the acorn nuts over the valve cover. But pretty much, guys, that is going to wrap it up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and as I said the last time, if you guys want more of the content of the last video, man, as you guys seen those Mexico runs, please let me know. It looks like it's doing pretty good. It looks like you guys liked them, and hopefully we can get more of that. But with that being said, guys, thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Till next time.